Welcome everyone to Pizza Roundtable, part of the where we host some of your favorite pizza personalities from all across the industry. You're here with us today, like I said, for Pizza Roundtable, where we'll talk through the biggest pizza news of the week and give you a chance to weigh in on it. I'm your host for tonight, Will Dumas, and I'm joined by my guest host, Jim Mumford. Jim is both a cookbook author and a writing contributor for the media publication Inside Hook. Jim, welcome, man. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, good evening, Will.
How is it going, my friend? How are you doing?
Doing good. Happy to, as always, talk pizza with you this lovely Thursday evening.
Absolutely, man. So listen, it's been a little bit. We had a little hiatus.
Yeah.
How were the holidays? All right, everything good for you?
Yeah, holidays were great. Cooked a lot of pizza, had a lot of people over. Didn't get snowed on too much, though I think that might change here in a day or two. How about yourself?
Yeah, man. I eat too much food, right? It's always a good thing. I feel like over the holidays, though. Can't complain. Can't
No,
complain.
not at all.
No snow though. No snow in my forecast. A lot of rain, but no snow.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get about a foot in the next day or two here in Michigan. So,
Whoa.
little jealous of you and your southern climate.
Dude, that's no joke. That's way more than I was thinking. I thought you were gonna hit me with a couple inches, but all right. All right. Well, listen, man. I know we got a lot of pizza news to get into, so might as well get going on it. Right. First up, I thought Jim, you had like the job of the year just in general, but apparently not because you are not Casey's. So let me share this first one up here. I mean, this was pretty entertaining, and I'll kick it off with highlighting that we've heard of a similar role that we'll talk about in a minute. But for now, this first one, Casey's, if we're familiar with guys, we're talking about Casey's a lot, but they are looking for the official, what do we call it? The ideal chief pizza and beer officer. So this is a dream job where essentially Casey's is looking for you to become their official chief pizza and beer officer, where you will be essentially required to, in some way, I guess, contribute to pizza and beer pairings. I don't know. This seems a little whimsical. Jim, what do you think about this?
It sounds like the job I've been practicing for my entire life. Will I don't know. I mean, I can't decide. Is this a pure want them to do some actual culinary arts? Is it somewhere in the middle? Casey's doesn't serve beer, right? They're a convenience store,
Yep.
as far as I know. So I can't read this one. Is it marketing? Is it an actual position? Is it both? Either throw my hat in the ring, Casey's officially to be your pizza and beer connoisseur. References on the on quite honestly. Um, so it sounds fun. What do you think, bud?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll share one thing before I comment on it. So I think one of the things that caught my eye here, right, was that. So I'll pull it up here real quick so you can see it. The benefits of the position, and I'm quoting here from the Yahoo Finance article. The benefits of the position include job supplies like receiving pizza and beer from Casey's store, branded glassware and other swag. Okay, coverage of travel costs for position duties and a negotiable compensation package. Full details are available on the LinkedIn posting. So, I'm down for some swag, and I'm happy for some travel expenses to be covered, but I still don't know what I'm doing. And I'll give the context that I'll compare it to. I think it was Yelp last year that essentially put out like their official reviewer or brand partner or something of the sort. I think like that. I think it was Yelp. I'm struggling to remember now, but I'm pretty sure it was Yelp who was looking like chief restaurant reviewer or something of the sort. And but the descriptions were like defined. You had to like contribute and write like 3 articles, like per month, and then you got expenses to go visit like restaurants. So like this, I'm not understanding what exactly you would be doing here.
Yeah, and that's why I can't. I think maybe it's marketing and PR, but then there's compensation. I don't know. Listen, I'll find out when I get to the interview. I will report back. Um,
That I'm fine with. That I'm fine with, man. You keep us posted. Listen, as long as you still show up on the nights we need you, man. Listen, you can do as much beer and pizza pairing or tasting as needed.
I might even do it. I might even do it on location while I'm working.
That would be a good one. That would be a good one. Why not, right, man? Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, you take us to the next one, man. Let's go. Let's head to Chicago.
Yeah, let's do it. My neck of the woods. Think the best pizza in Chicago? Do you think of Prison?
Surprisingly not, although
Right.
if I was having deep dish, I may be considering myself in prison if that was my only
Oh,
choice.
oh,
Da, da,
shots
da,
fired.
da.
Well, it looks like as you pull it up, there's a new nonprofit serving pizza out of the back of a Cook County prison.
Yeah, this one is interesting. So
Yeah,
soon Chicagoans will be able to taste the excellent pizza made by detainees at Cook County Jail.
yeah. I mean, the gist of it, and I'll get your reaction is, they're teaching culinary arts to, people in prison trying to, the reform program, with actual Chicago chefs. So, I mean, what do you think, Will? This is a PR stunt or a nice thing for the community?
I kind of think it's a nice thing for the community. It seems like great. Like, listen, you're gonna learn a skill and be able to serve pizza. I'm interested. Listen, I'm always down for the second chance. So if you can actually make something of yourself and have some good food, maybe we could pass it on to some of the other inmates as well. Why not? I'm totally down. I'm always interested in the rehabilitation programs. I'm trying to remember one thinking about it. If it is it. Um, Mod pizza that kind of focuses on hiring people with prior convictions. I think it was Mod. I'm trying to remember which of those chains
One
it
of them,
was,
yeah.
but like that same kind of concept to it. And I'll have to come back and note which one it was afterwards. I can't remember, but I think I'm leaning towards Mod. But like that idea I thought was awesome that you could see out there, and so why not do it while you're still behind bars?
Didn't we talk about it a couple weeks ago where more culinary programs were focusing on baking and pizza, right? This goes right into that. This is a great relatable skill where you can learn quick and apply many. So I'm with you. I think this is an absolutely awesome thing to do with real Chicago chefs, right? That this isn't just a cafeteria. They're learning real skills. So I agree. It's pretty great.
So the only thing I'll say, and I'll get your thoughts on it, is now this cooking vessel, Jim, that we see here, which looks like a Pyrex glass glass pan to me. I don't know if that is technically the official Chicago pizza cooking dish or cookware, but I leave that to you if you want to give me your thoughts on that one.
You, restrictions of what they can and can't use. But I mean, there's listen, if you can cook pizza in Pyrex, you can cook anywhere, right?
That's a fair point. I bet you there's some. I bet you could cook in a lot worse. That's for sure. So if you're able to put a pretty good product out of that, man, why not?
Yeah,
But it does. I will highlight quickly that it does seem like there's some pretty good donations to kind of like kick this off for the facility. They have a brick oven. I think that was brought back in 2015. So they're using tomatoes and flour imported from Italy. So I mean, listen, sounds like we've got some quality products and produce coming in to be able to make pizza with. So hey, man, I didn't like pizza and I was there. I'd be loving pizza now.
I'm going to Cook County tomorrow if the snow allows me, and maybe I'll grab a slice. Oh,
So that one I would thoroughly enjoy, man. If you get a chance to stop by and get a sample, or if anyone does, and anyone out there gets a chance to try it, tag us, please. We'd love to check it out and see what it really looks like.
100%.
All right. Well, listen. Well, I think we'll stay in the Midwest for the most part, and let's talk a little bit about bar style pies. So,
Mhm.
this one coming out of the Daily Meal. What makes bar style pizza unique? And so, I think this might be a style that is, I think there's probably a little bit more complexity to it than like meets the eye at first when you're thinking about it. At least if you're maybe over a pizza novus, right? And we're not thinking too deep into it. We're kind of just like, it looks like a thin cracker style to it, and then throw some cheese and sauce on it, and where that's it. You know what I mean? But I know Jim. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, tavern style pies, in my opinion, are some of the hardest to make. Right, it's very hard to get the dough consistently thin without a sheeter, which all the bar style pizzerias use. It's very hard to get all of the ratios the same, right? Because too little, that's it's soggy. So tavern style pies are truly an art, and you're right. They look simple and they look thin and small, but they are any for especially for a home cook. I think they're probably the hardest style to make, in my opinion.
If and when you are making them, do you do this? I don't know. We don't call it a par bake, right? But like you're kind of like rolling this dough and letting it sit out. Do you follow this where you're kind of like putting it in the fridge? And I don't want to say the word like you're giving it a skin, right? But I mean like you're giving it
You're
air
curing it.
contact for a significant amount of time, curing it. Yeah, so
Yep.
struggling to what I could what I could call it there.
Yeah, curing it's absolutely the number one step, right? If you don't do that and dry out the surface, the sauce will sog right out and you can't cook it, quick enough. A lot of, bar style pies aren't cooked in 900, 1000, degree ovens, right? They're cooked in normal stoves, and the way they get around that is, like you say, by curing it, putting it on the screen, and cooking it really fast. Generally not par baked. Some do. The best ones, in my
Hmm.
opinion, don't. But you can par bake it and then kind of finish it under a broiler. I've seen that done much trickier, but much faster as well.
Okay. And when we're thinking just bar pies in general, not that we're going down a full bar pie tutorial, but
I'm ready.
we're using we're doing like all purpose baking, like what are we doing from flour in your
I,
opinion? I know the article here kind of highlights AP, but I don't know if that's your inside tip
I,
for them.
I go AP. You don't need yeast, right? You don't need yeast is for flavor. You don't need leavening. Actually,
Yep.
that's kind of the enemy. And
Yep.
gluten can almost get hard. I've made it with bread flour. I've made it with AP. AP I think is a little more forgiving, right, and a little less stretchy. Which again,
Hmm.
most pizzas that isn't what you want, but you want a little bit more crumble to it instead of being shattering on you. So yeah, most call for AP just for that reason.
Yeah, I appreciate the context. And what do we think? Last point for it, hydration wise, is it super hydrated dough? Are we lesser on hydration? Where do we fall along there?
I generally go a little bit lower, but again, because you cure it, it kind of doesn't matter. So
Fair.
when I write my recipe, if you were to Google bar style pies, you might find mine one of the first. Um,
Oh,
it's higher hydration than most, just for the fact that you cure it. You kind of evaporate all that out anyway, so it's easier to work, a
sure.
little bit easier to get thin. But then you kind of moisture out, and what you end up with is probably a 30% anyways. If I were to guess,
Oh wow. Okay.
so
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't matter where you.
Makes sense. All right. I appreciate that tip, Jim. Thank you, my friend.
So speaking of
Um,
bar pies, I your pizzas with volcanoes in the middle, right? I've noticed that from the first conversation we had. So I think I see where you
absolutely.
are with
Absolutely.
that start.
You know me too well, man. There's nothing like a volcano pie, in my opinion. That is for sure.
Well, next time you were in Domino's in Japan, which I know you frequent often, you can get this totally not with a cheese volcano in the middle. Will, have you booked your flight yet?
I am about to when you sent me this article because thankfully you sourced this one and this was a gem. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm beyond intrigued of how this center was created and how boiling hot that cheese is gonna be if that came out and you were sitting in a Domino's and ate that with that nuclear lava in the middle. This is something else, man.
I
I,
listen. I'm speechless. For one of the first times here, I don't know how they do it. I don't know what it tastes like. I know I'm gonna burn the roof of my mouth, but we gotta try it, right?
I mean, this thing is amazing. So I'll highlight it that. So from the article here, this one, guys, out of Sonora News 24, they call it the cheese volcano. The new 40 centimeter, 15.7-inch wide pizza contains a specially molded dough that looks like a volcano rising in the center with a magma chamber inside the crater filled with cheesy lava. The cheddar cheese that surrounds the slope of the volcano has a crunchy texture that contrasts with the smooth and melty cheese. I don't I this thing, man, I am just so interested in learning more. I'm
It's a
speechless as
chamber.
well, man.
It has a chamber. Will I don't know, but boy, I'm gonna be scouring the internet for pictures. I have to understand this. This is good. This is gonna be the cover of the
I
book, the cookbook. It has.
I'm
to
I'm gonna put it back. I'm gonna put it back up one more time just because I can't help it. If anyone sees this or tries it, this looks amazing. I know, a couple weeks back, we had a friend from Pizza Club on, Bruce, who's out in Japan. So might have to bug him and ping him and see if he can get this and try it and give it a whirl for us. Because I don't know how you would deliver this either, though. To be fair, right? Like, I mean, this seems like there is. I mean, I appreciate how steady a car ride can be, but there's got to be some up and down, right? To moving this pie around, loading, unloading. I just picture that being all over the pie. There's no way it's gonna look like this when it gets to you.
Listen, I don't know, but there's a chamber, Will, so it's probably all in the.
This is amazing.
Does it erupt? Right? I can't fathom how amazing this is, and I can just only pray this comes stateside.
Amen. I think if you brought this in for if anyone else out there has children and you want to get one of these from Japan for like the volcano science project, this is a guaranteed an absolute win. If you could eat the volcano that you submit for your school science project, this would be amazing, man. I really can't help it. This is crazy.
Awesome.
All right, let's keep going, dude. That's awesome, though. That might be the winner for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me show the next one up here. This one was from Creo7.com. So I'll give you paint a scenario, I guess, first. Jim, so you're traveling down the highway. All of a sudden, there's a freak accident. But listen, thankfully, everyone is okay. No one's injured. But in front of you, there's this beautiful overturned semi spilling out with frozen pizzas galore all over the road. This must have been quite a scene. I can only imagine what it looked like. If people were around it, if it was like one of those kind of like crazy trafficy ones where people were getting out, were they taking pizzas? I don't know, man.
I mean,
but background being a semi, yes,
right. I mean, freak accident. The cleanup, I'm sure it was much harder than people think. But boy, to pour one out for all those poor frozen pizzas that won't get consumed between 1 and 4 a.m. It's really sad. They didn't mention brand though, so that.
I was gonna say the same. I was gonna say the same thing. So I was wondering to say who they were frozen pizzas for. Was it a certain like supermarket chain, supplier type? Nothing. It was minimal. How do we not know?
Yeah. Really, gauges my reaction. Is it Tombstone? Is it Totino's, which we're about to get into? I know those are you ate 3 or 4 of those a day, so pretty sad. Or is this generic supermarket brand, and I think we can move on.
I love it, dude. Yeah. If they were generic, I would bypass. If they were, there are some pretty high end designer, frozen pies out there now specifically.
Yeah.
So some good ones, I'd be out there willing to try them. I'd be happy to save one, put them good use. Right? They're gonna go otherwise.
Can't sell them, probably. I hope.
I hope not. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're able to donate them somewhere or something, right?
I'm going to assume they donated them to a worthy cause.
Absolutely. I hope so. All right. What do we got next?
I want to hear your take on Totino's pizza. I know, we've.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
But yeah, I know if you're like me and you are, little pepperoni cubes are the finest culinary treat in the world.
So this one, I'll share this one up here. This one's from Marketing Dive. I will note, man, I do enjoy a lot of things that Pete Davidson gets into. I think he's funny. I think the Taco Bell commercials are kind of humorous that he does for him too. So Totino's teams with Pete Davidson to rescue football fans from flat pizza. The comedian advocates for pizza rolls over traditional pies in an effort that also includes the brand's first Spanish language ad spot. So on that, man, listen, we've talked so many different variations of pizza rolls nowadays, whether there's the kind of like new vegan offering that's out there. There's like, there's always like the organic version. There's a couple different ones. And we talked about some really high end ones actually that I actually found in a supermarket near me the other day. They were called Snow Days or Snow something. They were really good. My kids loved them. They're all about it. But the classic Totino's pizza roll, there's nothing better. Honestly, I love them. The idea that there's about a 30-second window of when they're actually enjoyable rather than like ice cold or completely burn the roof of your mouth, right? There's such a minimal zone that I think there's a possibility you get one that meets that criteria. Otherwise, you are the whole time trying to eat these bad boys.
Absolutely. No, I don't think there's a better marketing pair than Pete Davidson and pizza rolls. I don't think that's an insult to either, but I think
No,
that's true, right?
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. He seems like the perfect one to kind of put that out because I could actually envision him sitting there eating pizza rolls and being like, guys, come on over. Like these are great. I got Totinos. Like, let's hang and eat some.
A pro tip, anyone out there, air fry your pizza rolls and toss them in garlic butter. You will gain 10 pounds
Ooh.
from that tip. But that was a staple in college before air fryers were cool, and highly recommend the garlic butter. That's all I'll say. I'm
All
sure
right.
Pete Davidson does that, right? I'm positive. So it's
I'm
good enough
I'm
for him.
I'm sure he does. I will highlight too that they did mention they do have this kind of tie-up ad with hot sauce. I think it's Tapatio, which I personally like. I think it's a good
Love
sauce
it.
and used for different variations. What do you think about hot sauce on pizza rolls in general, or hot sauce on kind of pizza items?
Get it. I mean, get all after it, right? I don't care if it's Frank's or buffalo sauce or Tabasco. Get it all. Shove it in my mouth, right? The hot sauce, the ranch, it needs to be it'd be more, in my professional opinion, right?
Okay, I'm down for that. I'm with you there. You know what I did want to mention as well, because I think we were talking a couple weeks ago too about that crazy new flavor of Totino's that came out, which was also not a limited time offering, but it was a new staple, and that was the orange chicken pizza roll. So I'm interested if we only get the classics in the upcoming ad campaign, or if they're going to tout that, because I think that kind of went a bit under the radar from a release, to be fair. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a limited time offering. Like they said, this is a new staple for the line. So I was like, wow, I haven't heard too much about it yet. So maybe we're gonna see Pete Davidson talking about orange chicken Totino rolls. What a combination.
What world we live in. Volcanoes on pizzas and Pete Davidson eating pizza rolls. And this is all free. This is amazing.
All right, well let's leave that there. We'll go on to something even more interesting. I don't know if there could be, but I think this is since you are a regional specialist, right? I think
Nice.
to be fair, I'll probably actually need you to take the next two because I think they really fit you. So unique pizza, and I'd love for your initial thoughts first on what we share about it. Altoona, if I want to make sure I'm always
Yep,
saying these
nailed it.
correctly, an Altoona style pie. So this one out of WPSU, this is Altoona style pizza makes its way to state, college, and reactions are missed. So first, let me share this beauty of a creation. I'll try to get that out. But give me your first thoughts. It's not everyone's expectations for Altoona style pie in general.
Yeah. So Altoona style pie, and we've talked about here for kind of a normal little dense crust. You put some ketchup on that. You put some deli meat on that. You put some American cheese on that. You essentially microwave it, and then you serve that as pizza. You might think I'm like joking here, but I'm not. That is what this style of pizza is a super sweet sauce with cold cuts and American cheese, quickly cooked and served.
Is there something to the story behind this? And I'll quote from the article here, right? The Altoona style pizza was created at the Altoona Hotel, but has been served at other restaurants in the area. The pizza is traditionally made with a Sicilian style dough. I hear all the Sicilians rolling over that they are associated with this at the moment. Tomato sauce, salami, green bell peppers, and topped off with Velveeta or American cheese. I did not note the Velveeta was an approved variation of, of the Altoona, but I perhaps it is.
Yeah, so I've had it once. I'll be fair, right? I was driving through. What was off-putting to me wasn't the sauce; it was and if you go back to picture, the cheese bubbles and burns a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit. But
yeah.
American cheese doesn't do that, right? It's so oily that has a charcoal essence to it, not in a good way. It
Mm.
is an absolute acquired taste, right? Everyone there loved it. People were going for it. I ate like half a piece. I understood what it was. I gave it a chance. But it
Yeah.
did not make the cut for the pizza cookbook. And I think that's not this style of pizza. But hey, I think everyone at Penn State absolutely deserves this pizza. Um,
Yes. Please, there you go. Penn State, you need more stuff. Here is your Altoona style pizza. I
yeah,
hope you guys enjoy. You're welcome to keep it. Do not bring it back with you when you come back from college. Please
please do
leave
not.
it there. Oh, I don't. I mean, listen. I would obviously try it. I'm with you, right? We're very similar in the sense of I'd always give it a whirl. I never gonna would never back away. But this one, the cheese on top is the part that it just looks like it shouldn't be burnt as you described. The charcoal essence was a very good, distinctly good description because it's not what you want, and that's exactly what you expect if you are having this. So, oh, man, something to that. It's
It's
just
tough.
yeah. Yeah, that it is. All right. Well, listen, let's shift to a different region, and let's go to Columbus. And so this article out of PMQ, which was, is Columbus style pizza a real thing? So I know, like I said, default to our regional specialist here, and I'm interested in your initial thoughts. For actually, you know what? Let me give a
Yeah,
description
yeah, yeah.
of what I want for it. So in general, here the full article name out of PMQ is Columbus style pizza a real thing or a Windy City wannabe? And essentially, here the idea being, I want to grab the quick quote from the style of it, essentially being. Oh, here we go. Elliot describes it, a Columbus style pizza, as sporting a thin to medium crust, a red sauce that leans toward the sweet side, provolone or provolone mozz blend, and a densely layered topping, often including a layer of pepperoni encasing the pie from one side to the other. And yes, it's cut into squares after baking in a deck oven. Is this to you, Jim? Is Columbus style of pizza a real thing? Is this a made up regional specialty? And to be fair, is there anything distinctive to this that would make you consider it a regional style from what you heard?
Yeah, so this one kind of caught me off guard. I had never really heard of Columbus style, which again, right, this is what I do. I asked several friends who live in the Columbus area; they had never really heard about it. They had heard of the other, the Ohio Valley and the Briar Hill and kind of the Sicilian variants. None
Yeah.
of them had really heard of this style, so it might be something that's new and emerging.
Okay.
Sounds like a classic Chicago tavern style pizza. I don't see anything unique to it, but maybe there is. Maybe it's the blend, the sweetness. Right now, if I had to give an
Yeah.
initial judgment, I think this is just transplanting bar style pizza to Columbus. Listen, it's a huge college, so
Sure.
that makes sense. But I'll have to do some research this spring while I'm driving through. But this, which kind of shocked me that it. I didn't think they had their own style. They were kind of through the Youngstown, Briar Hill, and kind of the melting pot of all the different Ohio and Pennsylvania styles. I didn't
Sure.
think that they, and if they were to have one, I would have expected something more Sicilian, not a bar pie at all.
Yeah, I wonder if they're kind of trying to get away. I mean, I say it in the sense of wondering if they're trying to get away with it. If we're saying like thin to medium thin, if perhaps there's a little bit more lift than like the bar style pie that we just described, maybe that's the differentiator that they're trying to put forward. I don't know.
I don't
This
know
goes
either.
back to the idea. This goes back to the idea of like what makes something a regional style pie versus someone who's just trying to get a social media hit, right? As we've seen a number of articles kind of highlight these very regional style pies that someone just called their city's pie, right?
And yeah, and you got to look right, go in the history of where it began and how it morphed, and really there aren't that many styles of pizza you can morph from. But interesting, right? I'm not listen. PMQ, they do their homework, right? This isn't some 2-bit news company. So listen, I'll try it. We'll see, and maybe it is the newest style that we need to appreciate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right, I'm with you there. All right, listen, Jim. I'll throw you one more. I think
Yeah.
you
Speaking
can
of
be.
styles, I don't want to appreciate.
let me let me share this one up, guys. Here, and this was one is out of Pizza Marketplace. So this is Emo's. If I'm saying it right, Emo's Pizza celebrates 60th anniversary. Emo's Pizza is celebrating its 60th anniversary. The brand partnered with St. Louis artist Dan Zetwatch to create a commemorative pizza box that pays homage to Emo's humble beginnings. Throughout the year, Emo's will offer a variety of specials to market the company's 60th anniversary.
Yeah. Congratulations to Emos, right? 60 years is nothing.
For
So
sure.
maybe I should describe what St. Louis style pizza is
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what
yeah,
Emos
absolutely,
is.
absolutely.
Again, this is going to sound like I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. The dough is closer to a tortilla than actual, pizza dough. It's very, very thin. The sauce is very sweet, like ketchup sweet, and the cheese is Provo, and it is a processed cheese product. It is
Yes.
somewhere between mozzarella that you buy in a store and Velveeta.
Mhm.
I mean, truly. Um, it is a very acquired taste of pizza. I think
Mhm.
that's the PC way I'll describe it. Those that grew up with it love it and they'll defend it. Those who maybe lived in Chicago go down. It's a harder transition into that style of pizza.
Is it a hard? Is it smoked, or is there a smoke component to that cheese, or no? No.
Some can be. I've had it where
Yeah.
they actually like will top, but generally it's just a very thin, gooey, ultra gooey kind of cheese.
Oh, sorry. You said it was like a vel. It was. It's not a hard cheese. It's soft cheese.
It's soft cheese. It's like Velveeta type
Oh,
cheese.
okay. Okay.
It, it
Yeah.
is it is very processed, very soft, and it's very acquired taste. Again,
Okay.
it's very sweet, very oily, and the crust is, like I say, almost closer to. If I were to make it home, I would use this giant burrito tortilla rather than to roll any dough out.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
So, and if
Yeah.
I've offended anyone from St. Louis, I did my best to give my unbiased opinion as a good Chicago boy reviewing your pizza.
Hey, this is one I haven't had before, to be honest. I'm not really familiar with anyone doing it that I've seen like outside of St. Louis where I could even try a subpar version, perhaps, right? Just in
Yeah.
general, like I really haven't had the ability to get one to do it.
And there might be a reason for that, Will. I'll just leave
Now,
it
I
where you
noted,
said.
noted. That's fine. You know, it's a good way to leave that one right there. Thank you, Pizza Marketplace, for hiring. I mean, for highlighting Emos. Emos for you. Listen, happy 60th. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm glad.
Absolutely. Speaking of pizzas that you and I will probably never eat, there's a new Guinness World Record pizza with how many toppings, Will? Just a few, right?
Oh my God. This is actually crazy, man. So, this one is out of the New York Post. This is a Guinness Book World Record pizza that has 1,001 types of cheese on it. I, this is, also, so it's hard for me to find the words on this one because I'm not gonna lie. I struggle with it because I don't want to eat this pizza, right? Like that's and these some of these records that people go for, if it was like appetizing or like, hey man, like this sounds really cool. We could make the biggest pizza and we, gave it away and did something cool with it. This just seems like a blob of cheese and I made some sort of dough. I threw it in the oven and I meet the minimum requirements for the Guinness's standard of pizza.
It's kind of like the world record we covered months ago, right? The world's biggest pizza, where they laid it out in the warehouse,
Yes.
right? And they had the fat. It was like an assembly line. You would never. I feel like this is that uglier cousin. Would you try it? Will, if I said, here's a slice, here's a nice, would you have tried it? Be honest for the nice people
I
listening.
would I would absolutely give it a whirl for
Good
for
for you.
sure.
Good for
I
you.
I don't think I would find it appealing. And I know here's why. I'll share the other um screen the other image that the and this one guys from the New York
It's not
Post,
bad.
if you cover this one, like when I see this blend, and by chance this was it's a French chef, and he I think he used 940 distinctive French cheeses and then a blend of 61 others, right, that it didn't specify from a regional perspective. But when I'm looking at this soft cheese board over here of items that are going to hit that pizza, there's nothing nothing there that I'm intrigued to try after seeing that, man. I don't know. That's my initial feel for that.
Eh,
As a cheese board, absolutely.
right,
I'm
right.
totally down to eat this.
Yeah.
With on top of dough with some red sauce. Negative.
Yeah, I mean, right, French cheeses aren't known for their subtlety. I feel like
Fair, fair,
one
fair.
of the thousand will clash with another. But like I say, I always say I'll try anything twice. This might be the exception, my friend. I don't think I could do it.
I will say it does look like they from the final image here that they all really enjoyed the outcome of this pie. Just the facial expressions to winning that Guinness World Record. Something to be said there. So listen, congratulations on the win for the
Yeah,
most cheeses on a pie. And to be fair, guys, I think they did note, this was like a dough that they quickly baked beforehand. They topped it with cheese, and I think officially they said they put it in the oven, want all the cheese on it for 40 seconds, and that is what qualified this then as a pizza. So
so well, good for them. I'm sure Domino's Japan will be doing it soon, so we can add it to the list for next week.
as long as they put a big volcano magma center to it, that's good.
That's
That's what I
what
was
this
expecting with
what
the.
this
There
needed,
we
right?
go.
We had nacho cheese
Exactly.
bubbling out of it. So
All right, man. Listen, take us to our final article. And this one was at a tasting table. This is always an interesting idea, of combinations. I'll put it that way, and I'll leave it to you to kind of talk through it for 1 second.
yeah, the gist, as I knock my gear off here, the gist is right is finishing a pizza with kind of some cold cuts, cold meat, right, prosciutto or mortadella or something to kind of be a extra umami flavor to the finish. And this is very very typical of true Italian style. You go Rome, you go Florence, you go that you will see a lot of this done. So I think it's wonderful. It's a fork and knife pizza, just as the picture shows, right? This isn't the kind of thing you're going to get at Domino's, but the whole thing is using some charcuterie meats to finish and highlight your pie, which I'm here for. I do it, especially like a grilled pizza. I do this all the time. You don't want to ruin a nice piece of prosciutto, aged prosciutto by heating it that much. You want to kind of keep it more savory, but it's a finisher, right? Um,
Absolutely, absolutely. I distinctly wanted to highlight that I love this style with the arugula on it, a little grated cheese on top, some prosciutto. Classic. I think I would say it's a classic pie for sure, and I love the cold idea
yeah,
to the top. So I'm totally down for anything like this.
yeah. It's the Ohio Valley pizza where they put the cold cheese on. This is kind of the
Yes, which is
version.
what I was going to ask you. So I was going to ask you about that one as a variation, though, Jim. To this, what do you think about the Ohio Valley? And I will say, for every bringing it back home too, it's also became a kind of a popular thing. I think distinctly for like on Long Island, I saw a number of shops that were doing this. That
Really
was kind of a unique idea. Yeah, I don't know if they kind of
awesome.
thought it was unique to them, but yeah. What do you think about that idea? And do you think it serves the purpose that I've heard described from a functional perspective of like not burning the top of your mouth with the cheese, or is it really there for contrast to be different? What do you think?
I mean, I think originally it was contrast to be different, something that could be served very quick, right? It was a coal miner's
Yeah,
lunch where you didn't have to be really heated as much. It was all about speed. This is kind of the sophisticated cousin, but I do think there's probably a happy middle that maybe I'll play around with, right? I mean, where you have that style of pizza, but you finish it with you know ingredients that shouldn't be heated, like the arugula, like the the sopressata or something. I think there could be something really great in there. Just kind of with the, because you say there is a contrast of texture, of flavor,
Yeah.
temperatures, which is really really fun. So yes, there's something there. It might take a little bit. It might be a journey to get there, but that's half the fun.
What about something cold like pickles, Jim? Pickles on your pizza.
So if I have to eat pickles on pizza, I would rather it be cold than cooked. In my neck of the woods in Michigan, pickle pizza is a thing. It is
Yeah.
a dill pickle pizza is very popular, or is as popular as you'll find it. It's abhorrent to eat. I'll just say that. I won't even mince words. It's terrible. So if I have to eat, listen, I like pickled peppers, right? Pickled banana peppers, pepperoncini to the finish, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're closer there. I certainly wouldn't want to subject it to the 500-degree heat, but I know you love pickles with your pizza rolls and the
I'm
Totino's
down
as
for it.
well.
I'm down. I'm going to distinctly make Totino's with some chopped pickles and tapatio hot sauce and just drizzle them all across the top next time I'm making them, and I can get down with that, man. I think that'd be a good one.
You know, I will say with Altoona style pizza, pickles and hot sauce would probably mask the flavor of everything else very well. So maybe that's the play.
Penn State, you're welcome.
To
You've
be
heard it here
faithful.
first. You've heard it here first from Jim. Go out there, pickles, hot sauce on your Altoona style pizza. Sounds like the way to go. All right, Jim. Listen, man, we talked about a lot of articles tonight, dude. This was awesome, as always, man. So listen, Jim, tell everyone where can they find you across social media, my friend.
Absolutely. You type in Jim Cook's Food Good or whatever you like your social media or web browser. You'll get me, my articles.
Awesome, man. Much appreciated as always, Jim. Thank you so much for joining and co-hosting with me tonight, guys. For everyone else, please check out I Need Pizza Club on YouTube. Like and subscribe to our videos. We've got a lot of other content out there as well, and you can also find us across all your other social media channels at I Need Pizza Club. So, on that note, guys, come back, check us out next week for another episode. Thanks all. Good night.